Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. This is Straight Facts Commentary where I give you my unpopular opinions in everything pop culture. So please stick around and subscribe for more. Hey y'all, I am back again with another video, and in today's video, you see the title, we are going to be talking about Caresha Please, her newest episode, and her getting into a couple of things on there with Santana. So if you're interested in that, female rap, pop, conspiracy theories, trending topics, my popular opinions, whatever I feel like getting into for real, go on ahead and subscribe, and let's get into this video. Okay, so I kind of wanted to talk about this whole Caresha Please episode with Santana and her kind of coming back into the media space and what I thought about it. I watched the whole episode or whatever. I just want to let you guys know too ahead of this, like I am not picking sides. I'm not doing it. Between Caresha and JT, like I am not that invested in this where I feel like one person is inherently right and one person is inherently wrong in the situation. I just have a couple of thoughts based on what I watched. So first of all, I just want to say I really liked the interview. Like I really liked it. I like the comfortability that Caresha and Santana have with each other. Obviously, they're very close friends, and so the interview really felt real. It felt like we were listening in on a real conversation, like we were kind of peeping in the room because they're very real, down to earth, funny, authentically themselves together, and I actually really appreciate that vibe and energy from them. What I will say about the interview is I overall enjoyed it. But I will say there were some things that I was like, Santana being Carisha's best friend, it is a little bit like, okay, she had her best friend ask the questions. So they were curated questions of which, she had him pick out. They pre picked out the questions. They probably pre talked about the answers to the questions and things like that, opposed to her being interviewed by someone who is, not her friend, someone who doesn't know her. So her answers are going to be different. You know what I'm saying? Also, one thing I did notice too is she didn't really talk too much about Diddy, and I feel like there's probably, excuse me, a reason for that. Obviously, he's going through active lawsuits. She probably can't say too much about him. She might be on NDAs. She might be legally not able to discuss too many things. That's what I'm guessing. But she didn't really talk too much about Diddy. She talked about how he's elevated her, how she wasn't just effing on him. She was doing business stuff with him, this, that, and the third, which my intuition tells me otherwise. Obviously, she's doing business stuff with him, but the freaky stuff that Diddy was in, I believe he had her turned all the way out. I'm just going to be honest. I believe that she was turned all the way out, probably doing all types of crazy stuff and, sex wise. You know what I mean? Like, and she's a city girl. She goes by that type of F a nigga get money mantra. Oh, he had her spend all the way out. I'm sorry. That's my intuition. He had her spend all the way out. And yeah, she obviously wasn't talking about that. She was only talking about the business aspect, but I feel like there was a lot more to that relationship. They're probably doing all types of crazy stuff in a sex capacity, and there was probably deeper things that were going on that she simply isn't just going to touch on. Of course, she talked about the things, the good aspects of being attached to Diddy, but I'm sure there was some really dark stuff that she was involved in. So she didn't really talk about that. So that's part of the discourse I've been seeing online too, is people saying, well, yeah, she talked about Diddy, but she didn't really say anything about him. She kind of just painted him in a good light in a way and said, I don't know what's going on with those other people essentially, but I wasn't abused by him. I didn't have anything bad happen to me. I wasn't affected in the same way these other people, were affected by Diddy, essentially like that. And not to say she was being hit. Maybe she wasn't being hit, but I do believe that she was involved in some weird stuff. Obviously, if she's associated with Diddy, she couldn't have not been doing weird stuff. So she's the only one out of all these people who didn't get caught up in any weird stuff with him. Nah, I find that hard to believe. But of course, she's not going to speak on that because why would she? Why would she put herself out there like that? She's not going to do that. She's not going to talk about anything weird that might have went on between them. Also, she did speak about JT, and a lot of people felt like she spoke more about JT than she spoke about Diddy, which she definitely did. Spoke about their relationship, the distance between them, which wasn't anything we really didn't already know. I mean, a lot of the stuff she talked about with JT was stuff that we already knew. They're not in the group anymore. they're distant. JT was doing her thing, Caresha was doing her thing with Diddy. But basically, what I got from it is that Young Miami felt like, JT went off on her own and started doing the solo music stuff and wasn't making, Young Miami aware enough. Like, she was going off and doing certain stuff in regards to her career, and she wasn't telling Young Miami, and she was just, forging her way alone, and, not telling the other group member about it, which is Young Miami, which I do kind of understand what Young Miami's saying in a way, because it's like, if you guys are a group, I would, like to think that JT would be communicative about, hey, I'm about to go do this, or hey, I'm doing that, or hey, XYZ. So I do understand her there, but then I do understand JT at the same time, because JT's rationale is probably like, okay, girl, well, you're over here with Diddy doing whatever you're doing with him. You aren't really focusing too much on music either. I mean, yeah, you're doing stuff here and there, but your main concern right now seems to be Diddy, and the main source of what your brand revolves around at this point is Diddy. So JT probably didn't feel like she needed to communicate anything to her, because she probably figured Young Miami don't care anyway. She's already in her own situation with Diddy. She's too focused on him. She all up on in his behind. So JT probably figured, let me go do my thing. Let me just go do whatever. Because, girl, you're not even, what are you doing? So I feel like I understand both sides of of it, and I'm always like that, and that's why it's like I don't pick sides with a lot of things, because my mind is so open. I see so many different perspectives, and I normally understand both people's point of view. So for me, picking sides for most scenarios is like no, because I always like see the nuance. I see in between. I understand both sides of the coin, and I'm able to empathize with both situations. But yeah, the people who are kind of ragging on JT, basically saying that JT left Carisha, JT felt like she was too good and she went off on her own and she da 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 da. No, I feel like she probably felt like, they were splitting apart and they both had completely different mindsets of where their careers were going. So, like, for example, if all of this crap did not happen with Diddy, Young Miami would still be right up under him now. You know what I'm saying? Doing the same shit that she was doing before. So, where does that leave the group? Where does that leave JT? So she probably felt like she needed to go her own way anyway, because Young Miami probably just didn't seem focused to her. And then apparently she had addressed the whole like Cardi B beef Twitter situation where Young Miami was like, "Oh, I was asleep. I didn't see nothing," which I still don't know to this day if I actually believe that, but she says she was asleep. Um, and how she didn't come to JT's defense when Cardi B and them were going back and forth. And Young Miami essentially said, that doesn't have nothing to do with me. The beef between her and Cardi didn't have nothing to do with me. That had to do with a whole bunch of other stuff and Nicki Minaj and da 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 and the remix and some other things too. It wasn't just that, but basically, Young Miami said that ain't got nothing to do with me. That's y'all music situation, y'all Nicki situation, y'all this situation, lapdogs and shit. That don't got nothing to do with me. Which I do kind of understand Young Miami that way too, because she wasn't directly involved in that situation. She's never been directly involved in it, ever. Like Cardi B, she never really. It was really between the three of them, Nicki, Cardi, JT, all those girls who were on Nicki's side and stuff like that. So, and then young man was like, I got left off Bad and Bougie. So, whatever, essentially was her rationale. Overall, I liked the interview. Some people were saying that this was Young Miami's attempt at PR and try to get sympathy for the whole Diddy situation. That basically, Young Miami put herself in the situation. She's not a victim, and that, she's upset essentially that JT has the music career, the association with Nicki Minaj, the fans. She's blowing up in a music capacity. She's getting ready to do, whatever the fuck JT's getting ready to do in her career, and that Young Miami's scrambling to try to figure out what to do. I do believe she is kind of scrambling to figure out what to do, because now that she's not associated with Diddy like that, what is Young Miami's brand on her own? You know what I'm saying? What is Young Miami doing on her own? She has Caresha Please, starting back up, which will be great for her because she needs it. And then what else? She's trying to do music, but I don't think that's going to fare well for her at all. She has her card game and some other stuff. So yeah, I do feel like Young Miami is trying to figure out what to do. Because if it wasn't for everything that happened, she wouldn't have to figure out what to do, because she would be with Diddy and he would be helping her do whatever. So Yeah, but you guys let me know. I also have some thoughts here that I found that people were talking about the show.
I don't even be watching Caresha Please, but I can actually say I'm going to tune in now. Like this comeback, I love for her. Like just seeing the little clip, I love it for her. Santana being in her corner, love that for her. I really feel like we all want our person so bad, and I feel like Santana is her person. It seems like she is so pure, she could be herself, and she could let her guard down when she with Santana, because she knows Santana is not gonna judge her. You get what I'm saying? And not everybody has somebody to be there for them when they want to crawl up under that rock. When it seems like everywhere you turn, like, bitch, it's a dead end. Like, bitch, it seems like everything is just clashing. You don't really have that. But I could say this whole time she been going through whatever she been going through, Santana. Like, Santana has been there. Like, Santana is her person. And this is why I say it's so important to hang with people that know their stuff and don't care about what other people think about them. Because even when everybody else gave up on her, he didn't. Like, and I'm here for it. Like, and I just love that. Even when she was just like, I'm gonna speak my truth, and she cried or whatever, it is just like, I don't know. I just love to see people like come from out of that hurt. I don't know. Can we talk about it in the comments? Is y'all tuning in?
Okay, let's get into Caresha, please. First, we all knew that Santana been her best friend, so it does not surprise me at all that he was only the only ones who was with her during her trials and tribulations. You know, I will say Santana seems like a real bitch. He seems like a real friend. Now, when it comes to these niggas, he's going to keep them in rotation, and that's just that. Secondly, what did y'all think Caresha was going to say about Diddy? Like, genuinely, y'all really thought she was going to come on that revolt and spill all Diddy tea? One, y'all don't know the legal restrictions that she has and what she can and cannot say. Two, y'all don't know if she's under an NDA. From track record, I would not be surprised if she was. But even if she isn't, Caresha was a willing participant. She appreciates everything that man did for her, because it is true. Without the City Girls, who was really checking for Caresha? Everybody thought JT was the better rapper. People wanted JT to go solo from the beginning. So he did open up a lot of doors for people to actually start giving a fuck about her. And if y'all thought she was finna get on there and somehow support his other victims, y'all are crazy as hell. She does not give that at all. She literally, when Santana asked her why she didn't stick up for JT when she was arguing with Cardi B, she was like, oh, I got left off bad and bougie. Like, come on now. Caresha does not give me those support of the girls things. Like, she was in it for the money. She got what she wanted, and she honestly has this attitude of like, that has nothing to do with me. I don't have those experiences. I got put on. He put me on. He saw the light in me. I don't know what happened with y'all. I don't know what you stupid bitches did, but that's not how it went down with me. Lastly, for anybody saying that they think it's more to the story between her and JT, I won't say I disagree with you, but I do just feel like they genuinely grew apart. JT has a man, wants to be more modest or covered up, do her own thing. Miami is still a city girl. Like, she's always been single, whether she was with Diddy or not. That was not a real relationship. You know, that was a situationship. She's always been single, flashy, wants to be seen, where JT doesn't want to do that anymore. And I do feel like that can affect your group, the music, the chemistry. And I'm sure it was some secret animosity before then that built up to like their standoffishness. But I don't think it's more than just growing apart, because they do not seem like they have similar personalities. You know, even when they did the Caresha Please the first time, it seemed weird, you know? So I really don't know what y'all expected this interview to be. Caresha does not give me like high intellect, oh seriousness. She gives elementary. So sorry. But to me, it was good. You know, glad she got on there, you know, spill her truth. I'm glad that Santana was the host. So yeah, go watch.
So I had just finished Caresha Please, season 2, episode 1. And I was not watching for tea on Diddy. I didn't care about that. I wanted to know, you know, what happened between her and JT. But I always had a feeling that her and JT were more so work buddies than friends. That's just my opinion. Don't care to elaborate on it. Don't care to go deeper into it. The only reason I tuned into tonight's episode is for one reason. And if you know me in real life, you know I love Santana down. I literally only have a BET Plus subscription because I found out that Santana was on College Hill. I'm trying to figure out how I can watch Love and Hip Hop because Santana is on there. Anything Santana is involved in, I love it. So I wanted to watch to see how Santana interacted with Caresha, and you know, just a little more in depth on Santana. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with Santana. Santana's just a real nigga to me. Like, I just love Santana. But anyway, Santana is the type of friend I pray we all can experience one day in this lifetime. Santana is the type of friend I want to be. Santana poured so much into Caresha. Like, Santana shed tears. Okay? Santana shed tears behind his friends. And that is the type of friend, again, I strive to be. And those are the type of friends I need in my life, because oftentimes we can always see the negative, the negative, the negative, the negative, the negative. When are you going to combat the negative with some positive? And I feel like we all need that. Like, being somebody's friend is not going to always be easy. Being somebody's friend is not going to always be in a walk in the park or turn up or something like that. I feel like Santana is the friend that Caresha has that prays over her without her even knowing. That's what I strive to be, and that's what I so desperately crave at this age. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, y'all, I was crying the whole episode. Just like, and then when Santana started crying, bitch, oh my God, you would have thought something happened to one of my children. How I was in here boo-hooing. Like, I want to be that friend, but I also need those type of friends, especially because y'all finna be 30. Enough is a fucking enough with the crazy stuff. Like, I need positivity. I need, like, criticism without the attack. Ooh, that's a word. Criticism without the attack. Like, I just want to go so deep into it, but Caresha Please was really good to me. I only watched for Santana, and that's what I got out of it.
Unpopular opinion, but I just finished the Caresha Please episode, and I think she should have had somebody else asking them questions. One, Santana sitting up there like they ain't discussed this when shit was popping off and all the shit was being released. He know all of this stuff. She done told him this. She done told him way more than she even told us on this episode. So having him up there, I feel like he knew what questions to skate around, and he knew what questions he could kind of pursue. If they would have had somebody else that wasn't involved in Caresha's situation asking them questions, I feel like we would have got a little bit more information, because I kind of feel like I just watched the episode for nothing. I thought it was going to be more tea spilled.
Okay, so that was some thoughts and different things that I found circulating on the internet. You guys let me know where you are. Are you guys like team JT, team Caresha? I'm not team no damn body. I'm just glad that they're not, they're in a place where they're not fighting, but they're not amazingly cool. They're just like, okay, it is what it is. We're not together, fine. I still love you at the end of the day. You're still my sister, but we just grew apart. We have different views on life, and we had different plans for what we were doing, and that's just that. You know what I mean? So y'all let me know who y'all sides y'all on or whoever. And that's it for this one. I love you, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.